From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current. WQPX invites you to join us as we explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Welcome to Northeast Current. Today we're out here on the bike trail, the Heritage Valley Bike Trail, and we have James May from PennDot and myself, Mike Toludo from PennDot, and we're going to have April Hannon, our bike coordinator from PennDot. She's going to talk about the bike trail.
May is Bike Safety Month here at PennDot, and a lot of times when people think about the Department of Transportation, you don't think about bike trails. But what we do here at the Department of Transportation is cover a whole lot more than just the construction that you see on the roads. One of the things that we do is work with some of the what we call Rails to Trails. With the Rails to Trails project, we are overseeing working with some local organizations, we'll talk about this in a minute, working with some local organizations to take some of the old railroad beds and to convert them into bicycle trails. We're here at one of those, but this is one that's very exciting because some other things have happened with this trail besides just the trail itself. We're going to talk about what you see here behind us, as well as one of the carvings that one of our employees did right up the road here from us. The work that we're doing here on the trail has to do with more than just simply the bike trail that you'll be riding on. This has some really unique and exciting features that we're very excited to show you in just a little bit. When you think PennDot, you don't normally think of bike trails, but we're here with April Hannon. And April, your official title with PennDot is what?
I am the enhancement coordinator.
The enhancement coordinator, which means that you work a lot with our Rails to Trails program and taking old converted railroad beds and kind of overseeing. Explain to us what you do and why is PennDot involved in something like a Rails to Trails program?
The enhancement program is federal dollars that are set aside for transportation related things that are considered enhancements. Rails to Trails is one of those enhancements. And what we do is we help administer the project for a local sponsor. A local sponsor such as this for this project is the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority. And
this project is where? We are where right now? Describe. I know we drove in here, but we're in Scranton still. And where are we? On what trail?
The limits of this trail this is the central New Jersey section of the LHVA trail. And the
LHVA
limits,
meaning
Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority.
Okay.
And their trail system is made up of 40 miles of trail. This portion starts at Elm Street in Scranton.
Okay.
And it goes to Depot Street in Taylor.
That's this portion that we're on right here.
The portion that we're on right now that's under construction.
And do we know yet when this portion, any idea when it will be done and when we'll be able to, maybe we'll ask the guys in a second. Okay, we'll find out from them when we expect to have this done. So when this section is done, you can go from Elm Street up to Depot Street. This will then connect in, and where will this entire trail take us at that point?
This trail right now, starting at Depot Street, goes into Scranton, through South Scranton area, and in the area under the Mulberry Street Bridge,
okay.
Lackawanna Avenue Bridge, and under there to Olive Street.
Okay.
I'm not sure
and
of
then,
the mileage.
But this one is going to then connect, you were saying it's going to
This one is going to
go how
connect
far?
Eventually. We have another trail section under construction right now, which is in Archibald, starting at Laurel Street in Archibald, Laurel Street Park.
Okay.
That is going all the way to...
that the one that goes to Simpson?
No, that section of trail that's under construction is going to German.
Okay.
And there is a section in Mayfield that is completed. There's another section in Carbondale completed. And eventually it will go from Pittston to Simpson, where it then connects with the D&H trail, which is 40 miles to the state line.
So if somebody is a bike rider and they enjoy either running or bicycling, when we have this trail done, you'll be able to go pretty much as far as you need to go on a bicycle, because you can go all the way from Scranton, and it will connect into some other trails. And as we've been talking about, this trail has some very unique aspects to it, because unlike your typical trail where you're going through and seeing some nature, we've been working with some representatives from the Iroquois Nation who have been, because it's the Heritage Valley, and we'll be able to tie in with some of the heritage that we have in this area. And one of the things we want to do now is take you over and show you some of those highlights. We have the amphitheater, we have the lacrosse field that they're doing, and a really neat carving that one of our guys has been doing on his own time. So an exciting time, and this is a really neat trail. We thank you for coming out and telling us a little bit about the trail. When you think about PennDOT, you don't normally think about bike trails, and when you think about bike trails, many times you don't think about what we have right here with this amphitheater. Tom Austin is one of the ones who is working directly with this. Tom, can you explain what is it that we're looking at here? What is this, and how did this all come about here on the bike trail?
We were going to just go ahead and build some planters around the whole area and the trail. We were looking for some stones. There was items in our contract so we can do boulder removal. Up on the hill behind us here, there was an area that had some large stones that we could utilize to maybe make some planters or do something. When we got into excavation, we didn't realize that we were into an actually old bridge abutment wall that had been buried there. So we started pulling them out. We laid them out in the yard, and we realized that we had, nearly 100 stones to work with.
And that's these stones here are all part of, of an old bridge that came through.
These were all quarried stone. They were carved out maybe late 1800s, and the material was there. All we had to do was pick them up, turn them around, drop them. It was on-site material. I mean, what better prize could you have with that? I mean, we didn't have to pay for anything. It was all right here.
And so why did PennDOT and you guys decide to make it into an amphitheater? Okay, so you're digging up here on the trail this old railroad bed that's being converted into a bike trail. You find these stones lying around. Why is it that you then came along and said, let's build an amphitheater out of these stones?
Well, if you kind of think about it, the trail it's the heritage trail. I mean, there was people here before us, the Native Americans. There isn't carving down here on the trail that signifies that there were people here before us. So I mean, look at this here as an amphitheater. This is more or less a religious signification to the Native Americans that were once here.
Did you guys work with the Native Americans in the construction of this, or how did, when I think of how you would go about constructing something like this, what was your interaction with some of the Native Americans in this area in the construction of this?
We had one individual, his name is Dr. Jerry Reisinger. He is an Iroquois representative for upstate New York area. And he came down here and he more or less consulted us on what he would like to see, and we tried to accommodate him in what we could within our powers to do something just so we can reflect something for him in the area. So, and the people and everybody else for history purposes.
Any idea what this specific area will be utilized for once we have it completed and done?
This will be utilized for everybody to enjoy. I mean, it's an amphitheater. It's anyone can come down here. I mean, come down here, read, play your music, do whatever you like. I mean, it's here for everybody. I mean.
And so right across the trail from this amphitheater, and we'll go over there in just a second here now, is a large field that I understand will be primarily used for lacrosse or anything that anybody wants to use it for.
Come on down and play some frisbee.
Frisbee, lacrosse, whatever. So
catch some balls. I mean,
let's run over there now and we'll take a look at the lacrosse field or frisbee field, whatever you want to call it. The field right across the street.
Actually, it was an excavation borrow field. I mean, we had to level it out and reclaim it to exactly what it was before. We just changed a little bit of the grass plantings around so that if someone wanted to come and decide to mow it down and actually utilize it for something, it's here.
Great. Let's take a run over there and we'll take a look at that. Well, we're here at what is essentially a lacrosse field. Again, something you don't normally think of when you think of PennDOT. This is one of the things that we're working with the area here, and at one of our bike trails that we're converting from a railroad bed into a bike trail, we have the amphitheater, but we also have an area that was used for staging some equipment and materials, and once we put it back, Tom and his group of folks down here decided to make this into a lacrosse field. Tom, explain to us how that came about, what this is going to look like when it's done, and I'm very curious as to why the poles are at each end. So how did you guys decide to make this into a lacrosse field at this point?
Well, this is actually like a junior lacrosse field. It never was intended to be actually a lacrosse field. It was just going to be a field that could be utilized for anything or any general purpose. We had some poles here that were hanging over the trail that had to be removed because of safety reasons. Instead of throwing them away, we decided to utilize them as goalposts for lacrosse if they wanted to actually do that.
Now, when I think lacrosse, I think that of it going into a net. Why are there poles instead of the old traditional net?
Well, the Iroquois, the Native Americans, they've actually created this game. Back 400 or 500 years ago when it actually was being played, the actual field could be upwards of 5 miles long.
Really?
They would have a pole on one mountain, and a tree or a post on one mountain and one on another mountain. It would carry on for days. And the idea was that you would get to the post, which was the goal. There'd be a notch about 6 foot tall. If you hit above the notch, that was a point. On top of the poles, which I'm going to carve some Indian effigies or some giant fish, if you hit the actual effigy or whatever it might be, it's 2 points. So I mean, that's how it was played before. We decided to put them up, and this is for the kids. It's a small area if they decide to use it, and we figured we put the nets in front of it, and they can actually play the real game, see how hard it was actually to score
I can't
a point,
imagine.
instead of like they'll have a
Getting it
big
into
net.
a net is tough
Yeah.
enough. Actually hitting these
Hitting
poles
the
would
actual
be really,
pole
really
would be
difficult.
very difficult, so they could see what they were really up against.
When do you
back
expect
then.
to have this portion done?
This portion is actually done. We've
Once the grass
already
comes up.
seeded it,
Okay.
and then it's up to whomever is going to actually come down and cut it or take care of it. It's just here to utilize it. We had to reclaim it after we had removed all our borrow excavations and stock soils and all of that.
Okay.
So it's here. So I mean.
And so when somebody is on this trail, even if you aren't an official lacrosse team or member, if you can stop here and play frisbee, have a picnic, do whatever you want to do
anything,
here.
yeah, really. I mean, but the only thing is you can't drive in, you got to walk.
You have to walk or ride a bike.
This is a trail.
Okay.
So if you want to come see it,
And we'll be able to see at that point the carved fish that you're going to have up at both ends.
Yes.
And you've been doing these carvings on your own time.
Yeah.
No cost to the state, and I think that's
None.
really neat. But the thing that really excites me is what we're going to go see next, and that's the carving that you've done of the Native American coming up out of the river.
Yes.
This is one of the, I think, the coolest things on this trail, something that people need to get down here and see. So let's take a look. Let's head on down the trail.